My name is Erin, and I play the saxophone. I make stuff too. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about this piece called North Star, which is on my album 2000 Miles, available September 17th from Relative Pitch Records. North Star utilizes an interesting technique that combines vocalization with the saxophone tone or saxophone sound. So what happens in this piece is I vibrate my vocal cords, creating a pitch, and I also blow air simultaneously through the reed and activate a pitch through the instrument. I'll demonstrate a little bit about this technique and then talk a bit about how I use it in North Star. This is a soprano saxophone. Again, soprano saxophone is a B-flat transposing instrument, so any of the pitches I talk about here are going to relate to soprano pitch world. If I talk about a C, really it's referring to your concert B-flat. If I talk about a D, it's referring to your concert C. So if I play a note here and call it a C, and you go and play it on the piano in your living room, you're going to hear a B-flat. In just saxophone pitch, those are the first three notes of North Star. However, when I activate my vocal cords, we get a different effect. So you can hear there's something going on in addition to the pitch. You can also see it in my face. Vocal cords plus blowing requires a lot of pressure, and it's very, very tight and very intense practice. So I try not to do it too long or I might damage my vocal cords. What's happening on the third pitch of North Star is I'm playing an E flat in saxophone tone. And then I'm singing or vocalizing in my throat a fourth below that on the B flat. So already you can hear there's a really interesting effect that occurs when I sing that fourth. And it's the way those pitches react with each other, the way the sound of the saxophone reacts with the sound of the voice. Now I'm going to play the pitch, then I'm going to vocalize the fourth, and I'm going to expand that vocal down one step so that it creates a fifth. So that's an example of keeping the pitch stable on the saxophone and moving the voice downward and upward. I'm now going to play a pitch that appears later in the piece, a high B. I'm going to keep the voice stable and I'm going to move the saxophone note so that it changes. I'm now going to play an effect off of the high D in the soprano where I glissando my voice way up and then way down. Listen to the different cascading effect that occurs from this. So there are a couple things that happen there. One is that it changes beating all the way up and down, but also it cuts the note down. So I actually underblow the note because I'm blowing so hard, and that you can hear the lower octave of the D come in at some point as I'm lipping and lowering my vocal cords. There's also a really interesting effect that occurs when you're playing very high on the soprano, and that's part of a shrieking or vocalization that's very, very high in my falsetto range, almost a scream-like. And what it does is it creates a decoration of the high pitches up there and supplies a certain amount of artifact to the sound that makes it almost textural. This is an effect that I use later in the piece, and that supplies sort of that climactic endpoint. So those are some of the ideas with vocalization and playing at the same time. I like to combine everything, especially if you're playing a very quick passage with a lot of changing notes. It's kind of nice to alternate between large kind of glissandos in the voice and then just static notes at times. Part of this texture is to thicken and to create more than what is going on if I'm only playing saxophone. Now add voice to that. And once again, that is a technique used in North Star, which is the second track of 2000 Miles, my new album from Relative Pitch. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.